We the Israelites, G. I know you can't see. Type it in, I beg you please. Type it in, I beg you please. We the Israelites, G. I know you can't see. Type it in, I beg you please. Type it in, I beg you please. No religion, my brother. Straight roots and culture. See the people over there in Israel, those guys are vultures. They took us away, made us into slaves. Took away our last names. I know most people came, didn't even have any shoes on our feet. Gave us crap food to eat, the same food we still eat. Oxtail, pig's tail,
shalom,
chicken. Hey, we've been conditioned, you see, biggest weapon Christianity. Teaching the people to follow traditions that our ancestors never heard or seen. Christmas, not in the Bible, G. Easter, not in the Bible, G. Lent, not in the Bible, G. Bruh. That's not what the pastor preached to me. He told me law is down the way. He said by grace that we are free. No, there has to be law and order. Without order, there's no order. How can you be judged without no borders? No blueprint, no rota, no instructions, no guidelines, no manual.
Shalom.
Realize, it's time to rise. Oh, it's time to rise. We the Israelites, G. I know you can't see. Type it in the beg you please. Type it in the beg you please. We the Israelites, G. I know you can't see. Type it in the beg you please. Type it in the beg you please.
Shalom. And welcome once again to restoring our identity, our true identity.
Yes, indeed.
Hallelujah. To the 12 tribes of Israel that have been scattered worldwide, according to the Holy Manuscript.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
4 corners of the earth, man.
We fit it.
And everywhere let me tell you something, man. We didn't take vacation and didn't just say, I was like, I think we should come on over to the Americas and try to find a better life.
Let me get some passport stamps in my.
No, that's not how we got
to
the 4 corners of the earth.
Not our story.
According to the manuscript, we would be taken by ships.
Mm-hmm.
If we broke them laws, statutes, and commandments.
Yes, indeed.
If we put the precepts behind us, he said, all right,
okay,
I got something for y'all.
Right. The not so fine print of the covenant.
Right.
It was bold. We knew better.
Matter of fact, I think I'm not a math expert, but you got 14 verses.
That's it. Small amount. That'll be the fine print, if anything.
Then you got, from verse 15 to verse 68. Oh, goodness. He said, look, this is going to happen if you break these covenant now.
And he reminded us throughout within there. That's what I love.
Yeah, all the way down.
Just in case you forgot what you're reading. If you do this, if you did not listen to me, all these curses.
He said, people going to come from a nation you don't know nothing about.
You or your father don't know the language.
He said they won't have regard for the old or the young.
Right.
That means our little babies was caught up in the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 7-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5 years old, going on slave ships, man. Boy, the heathen gonna pay for that.
Yes, indeed.
Let me tell you something. Ain't no getting away from that one. Now.
No.
You cannot Y'all told us we couldn't even enslave each other.
Right.
We're the apple of his eye.
Right.
The chosen generation, right? Matter of fact, the true kings and queens of the planet. And yet we were shoved and crammed like packed sardines into slave ships, man, and just dropped off and put on auction block. Right. It was a hot mess. And you know why? We rejected our Messiah.
That's it.
See, Hamashiach is not Caesar Borgia.
Showing.
No,
Showing.
he's the very visible image of the invisible Yah.
That's right.
Right? And so if he's the visible image of the invisible Yah, and he got a hair like lamb's wool,
right,
then I think that's the image Yah wants.
Most definitely.
If his skin is like burnt brass, as it has been tried in the fire, then I believe that Yah must want to represent himself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like us.
Yes.
So when our king came, man, we wasn't rejecting some European Caesar Borgia.
Sure weren't.
We was rejecting, man, our own flesh and blood. Yeah. Ain't the Bible say he was our, didn't the Bible say he was our kinsman redeemer? We should have known better.
Yes, we should have.
I got some messages coming out with these Pharisees and Sadducees to prove, and I'm going to prove it too. I'm going to prove that the Pharisees and the Sadducees were complete sellouts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
Europeanized, Hellenized.
Yes, indeed.
But held a headlock on our people.
Sure did.
Remember they had the one man so scared, him and his wife, when the son was made, he was blind. And then, of course, you know that story. Hamashiach healed him.
Yeah.
And they said, we don't believe you. You was altogether born in sin. The man that's blind was like, I don't care what you say. Right. So they went to his parents. And it says they was afraid that they would get kicked out the synagogue if they said Hamashiach did it. So they just say he's old enough to ask him.
Right. Let him get kicked out.
Right, because but I'm saying, man, first of all, what kind of power were these cats willing over our people?
Right.
And you're right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely let them know. I'm going to let the whole world know. It's the same kind of power that these preachers and pastors have over our people today.
Yes, indeed.
That have been Hellenized.
Yes, indeed.
That have been trained in the European schools. That have been taught to keep the European feasts and festivals. Have adopted a European diet.
Right.
Have changed the Bible principles and now teaching a European version of our scripture.
Twisted.
And got our people so choked up, they say, if you watch the Ark, you're going to get kicked out. You better not listen to Moreh Yoshiyahu, Dawid, and your boy, you'll get kicked out.
I'll kick you out and no more fish Fridays for you.
Well, we under the, man, everything is going around, is coming back around.
Yeah, it is.
But hallelujah, we're waking up in these last days. And let's see what we got in the room. We got over 100 and some people already in the room, man, less than 10 minutes. Shalom, shalom. We realize that we're going up a little late. But what we want to do, Zion, we're going to look at this bet because we didn't finish.
No.
And we're going to take another approach into it. For those of you who did make it into the room, Todah Rabbah, I pray that our time together is going to be profitable. All right. We want to make sure everybody's in the room. If you can hear us, all right. Place a 7, please. I'm Moreh Yoshiyahu, Dawid ben Israel of the ARK, which stands for the Awakening Remnant Koalition. And to my immediate right,
Yaron Alkanah, always glad to be here with y'all, Israel.
Man, we done been together, man, over 100 and some hours.
Yeah.
Trying to help Israel reclaim their identity.
Most definitely.
And try to show them how we can get back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's right here for us.
I think it was either Socrates, matter of fact, I'm almost positive it was Socrates or Plato. One of those two said, if you really want to control the nation, you must control the language.
That's it.
And I said,
that's it.
What's that got to do with anything?
Everything.
Yes. Because as a man think.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So is he.
Yes, indeed.
So, you know, man, I told you, my brother, my younger brother, I showed him this information.
Right.
He told me, he said, man, I ain't no Hebrew. I can't speak Hebrew. That's what he said. Now, what's that got to do with your nationality?
Right. Right.
He said, I'm English. He said, and I'm just as much English as I am Negro. And I said, boy, you need to go to any mirror in this nation. It ain't you. Just don't
go ask the Queen of England.
Man, just go ask anybody, man. You ain't gotta go too far, man. If I gotta do English or not.
You see what the Queen of England doing?
Man, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We're gonna deal with come on, man. You know I'm gonna deal with that. I was gonna do it this morning, but the Most High had me doing some other things. I'm all right. Good. Oh man, of course. Man, they counterfeit thrones, counterfeit kingdom. We the true kingdom.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
But they gave us this dirty language. Sure this is not our original tongue.
Nope.
And it's sad that Black people all over the world believe that English is our native language.
That's something.
It's not our native language. No. This is a dirty, nasty, perverted language.
Learned a foreign language.
That they gave us exactly what the Most High said would happen to us.
Did.
That we would end up with a perverted language.
Yes, indeed.
Matter of fact, man, I'm working on something right now. Dealing with the gift of tongue.
Good.
Everybody keep talking about it.
Right.
There's a reason for it.
Right.
And one of the reasons is because we were scattered.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, I got a video coming out.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so if we scattered and we all were speaking something different, right? Come on now. It wasn't so we could go habla, Honda, Nissan. First of all, if you can't speak Hebrew, then what's the point?
Right.
That's a whole nother story. Right? That's not what I'm here for. But I'm going to restore to Zion their true heritage. Because as we got scattered, we lost our original language. And you know what they did? They replaced our culture.
Sure did. Control.
To control us. They replaced our language, and that means they could replace our culture. That means they could replace our values. And through this nasty language, they had us replacing our diet. Then we end up replacing all of our feast days for all of their nasty pagan days.
Till this day.
Yes, to this day, man. And if we knew Hebrew as a nation, if we would have just held on to that, we would have known better.
Right.
Than to have any L's before Yahuwah.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
We would have known you can't add to
or take away from.
So why are you going to tell me the Old Testament been done away with? When the Bible said, no, the first thing he said when it came to his Torah, he said, now listen, don't you add to this and don't take away. And the very first thing they teach you in Christianity is what has been done away with and what they've added to it.
Right.
Oh, we done changed the Shabbat. You took the Shabbat out? Yeah, we made it. It's called the Christian Sabbath. They're going to hell for that.
So we're going to rest on that at least? No. You don't have to worry about that. So what we going to do? We're just going to go to church.
Hot mess.
So we get out in time to watch football?
Oh, of course. Matter of fact, get out in time to go play. Matter of fact,
we ain't going to rest. We ain't going to do nothing that resembles what the Shabbat is about.
They took it from us. See? And then perverted it and then handed it back.
Sure did.
And so my job and your job, what we're trying to do in these lessons, give it back.
Go back to the basics.
And Zion, that's what we're here for. And if y'all caught that, put a 9. And let's see, man, we 2 from 200.
All right.
In the room. And that's a beautiful thing. Less than 15 minutes in. Now, one of the ways we decided to help Zion, and those of you who are in the room for the first time, welcome. Just want you to know you're welcome. But if you get lost or you seem like you're going too far, too fast, you can go back to the beginning of our alphabet series and you can just start on your own. You know, as you follow each week, you can go back and pick up a couple of words and we've done a bunch of these already, but you'll get the alphabet.
Yes, indeed.
And then you can like catch up as it goes. And I mentioned this before. Those who want a deeper understanding can always go to Royal Roots.
Yes, indeed.
And
I'm in the class.
See there?
I'm in the Hebrew 1C class. I'm learning like a baby.
Yes,
and
man.
We struggling together.
And that's
so we getting it.
But we gotta get it right.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Look, there's no way, man. You can't tell me that every time you go to class you get deeper insight.
Right.
You have to.
Right. You do.
Anybody say, "Oh no, this is a waste of time"? You lying.
Right. You're not in there.
Because you know, man, Hul and I have been studying this thing now, like going on 10 years. And every time we approach it, we feel like a child.
Right.
So we learn every time we study.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
So there's this level, which is going to help you restore your culture and your language. And of course, Real Roots is busy. They get into the more details of the language, the more of the grammar and the syntax of the language. But all together, we always going to bring it back to the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's our book.
That's it.
And I want to say something else before we get started. Well, let me see here, man. We're going to get in. But I got to say this. The same heathens that said the Old Testament been done away with, and that Hebrew is a dead language, steady writing books.
Right.
What is that?
Why y'all even quoting the old? Man, y'all would call it the Old Testament. Why even quote it?
Man, they're going doing research.
My goodness.
They're putting together lexicons.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
they're doing all kind of deep research if it's done away with.
Right.
And if it's a dead language.
Right.
Why do they even care? Because they know.
No, sure.
They're just not teaching you.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all can teach. Look, even right now, try to find some heathens that's really trying to teach you the biblical culture and the biblical meaning, the cultural meanings of these words as they apply to the true children, us. Boy, you'll be looking till the cows come home. Because they know, man, if they ever reconnect us to our language, reconnect us to our Elohim.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, they took his name out the Bible.
Sure did.
They said, God, Lord.
The name of the Lord is the Lord. What kind of...
And until you call upon the name is the name.
The name is
the Lord. The Lord is the Lord.
Is the name.
Boy, I said, they're going to hell too. But watch this. You will learn to call upon his name. Yahweh is his name. And does that make no sense?
Sure does.
If y'all listen to us, if that made sense, put a 12 for the 12 tribes of Israel. Man, I don't know why they're going to tell us that this is not important and this is our history.
Right.
And so we discovered that by giving you back your language, restoring your names, the Bible, the biblical names, restoring the feast days, restoring, but for sure in the language is your culture.
Yes, indeed.
And y'all genius set that up. And only y'all could have did that. Preserved it because our letters mean something. Hallelujah. Every word means something. All right, so what we're going to do tonight, we titled tonight, It's All in the House. All right, it's all in the house. So we want you all to understand something about Israel, and that is the 12 tribes of Israel, which is what the Bible calls the children of Israel. Our life, our existence, our culture was centered around the house.
Yes, indeed.
I'm trying to get to this lesson, man. My mind keep running. Right? How these heathens gonna tell us, man? They found us in trees, running through bushes, no place to lay. We was just outside in the dirt, huh? Laying around in mud puddles and in desert sands, I guess.
Right.
Like we didn't have sense enough to build a house. Isn't that something, man?
It is.
They act like, man, they were already civilized and we were uncivilized.
Right.
Then we start doing first grade research.
Don't take long.
Found out, man, we had houses.
Yes, indeed.
When they was in caves. Am I right about that? Right. That the ancient Romans, the ancient Vikings, the Norse.
Keep going.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were the ones, man, in caves. They were the ones, man, stacking up stones.
Right. Fact.
You know what I'm saying? Making little lean-tos. You know, just out there eating swine flesh, laying around hot fires, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sharpening their knife and their swords and their hatchets because they got to go do some killing tomorrow.
Yes,
if they want to eat again, they got to do some robbing. You know what I'm saying? But we down on the Fertile Crescent, right?
Yes, indeed.
Chilling in the house.
Right.
Everybody got their own room.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, man? We got flocks and herds. And man, we got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They acting like they were civilized But we had civilization. They learned their architecture.
Right.
It's literally true, man,
Right.
from us.
Right.
So the house is not some weird foreign concept to our people. Like, what is a house? Man, a roof. Y'all got roofs. Wow. We was used to just looking at the sky every night. You heathens. Boy, misrepresenting us like that. Y'all going to hell. You know that, right? Ain't no redemption for that.
No.
To make a person think that they came from nothing. And then got nerve talking about they swinging in trees, calling you an ape.
Right.
You got Hebrews today still ashamed to eat a banana in public. It's one of the best fruits we can eat. Right? Boy, I gotta hide to eat a banana so nobody call you a monkey. Woo! You eat. Boy, y'all, you gonna pay. You gonna pay. Just understand that. So we gotta read. We have to. Now look, we do this every week. We show y'all the person that wrote this book. How does he know our culture?
He studied it.
He had to study it.
Right.
And I got other books that I've already done these series on. I've already showed you. Jeff confessed that even the so-called Yuhudim today, Hebrew, Zionists, he even said of his own mouth,
right,
they are Europeanized. Yep. They are what he said, they come from a Western mindset. European. He said, and therefore even they cannot. So he had to go find the Bedouins.
Sure did.
And some of our ancient cousins that's still in the land, and then find out how things really supposed to go.
Right.
Right? Which tells us then, Zion, we the people of the book, and they know it.
Yes, indeed.
And one of the things they know is that we didn't run around here living in no trees.
Sure didn't.
Every time I type anything in the Google search for treehouse, it's white folk. Right. Man, y'all think I'm lying? Type in treehouse. You're gonna just see white people building trees. They the one climbing up in trees, right, trying to live up in the trees. Man, they'll charge you $500,000 to build you a house in a tree.
Sure will.
But a Negro will be like, I ain't getting up there. If the wind start blowing, we coming back down. We know our house supposed to be built on the ground.
Right. Solid ground.
It's the heathen is obsessed with the tree house. Right. Man, Tarzan was swinging from trees. He was a white figment of someone's imagination. Right. Man, one reason, baby, I'm just trying to say, how did they do that to us? Because see, they had came from the snow, right? Not many trees. You know what I'm saying? So when they saw a tree, they was like, wow, we should live up here. Man, Negroes was like, you heathens better get down, man, before you mess around.
Slip and fall off.
So how they put that on us? We had houses.
Honey.
That's all I'm trying to show you. We had kingdoms.
Kingdoms.
When we came out of Egypt as a nation, we dwelt in tents until we made it to the promised land.
That's right.
Man, we didn't just stay in tents, man, forever.
Right.
That's another thing what's wrong with this heathen. Oh, so all of a sudden, we can't build no house.
Right.
Even though they know King Solomon built the greatest house on the planet. Didn't he do it? Wasn't his architecture perfect?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he have the stones cut in the mountains and outside the camp before they was brought in the camp so that the whole temple went up silent?
Yes.
He said, we don't need no noise building the temple of God. And when he was finished, it became one of the 7 wonders of the world.
That's right.
Heathens from all over the place came to see it.
Did.
Remember the Queen of Sheba?
Sure did.
And after she saw it, she said, whoa! Half. She said, I looked at the servants. They was all happy. She said, man, I looked at the butlers in the door. I looked at the people, man, to the cold. He said, then I watched the way he ascended up to his throne. She said, I fainted. Queen, wake up, queen. She said, oh. Tell everybody I said the half and not been told. You think she was doing that over a treehouse? Come on. Come on, man. You think she was doing that over a tent?
No.
It was architecture.
Mm-hmm.
It was great design and engineering.
Right.
The house means a lot to our people.
Sure does.
And we mentioned this last week, and it's worth saying again. Our people, right out after slavery, all had houses.
Sure did.
Remember, you was telling me about your grandpa, right? Don't your grandfather have a house?
Sure does.
And man, if you go back to our great-great-grandparents, the first thing they did is that they built them a house.
Yes, indeed.
How come they didn't just go get a clump in a tree? See how stupid they trying to make our people?
Yeah. No,
the first thing we did was build our own houses and raise our family. Why? Because the house is the centerpiece for us. Everything is in the house.
Yes, it is.
Even Israel, the nation itself, is called the house of Israel. Yeah. So, Zion, I want y'all to understand something. I don't think the nation was called the apartment of Israel.
No.
I don't think our nation was called the projects of Israel. I don't think our nation was called the trees of Israel.
Nope.
I think we were called the house of Israel.
Yes, indeed.
So therefore, our language is going to have a lot to say that connects to the house.
Yes, indeed.
We saw it in the Aleph.
Sure did.
The very first thing with the Aleph is the strength and the strong leader of the house, right? And now the Bet is the picture of a house. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's good to let the world know that from the Bet, all of the other letters are going to somehow always come back to the house.
That's it.
Am I right about it?
You're right.
Even the word Bet.
Right.
ends with the covenant that Yah makes with Israel.
Yes, indeed.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
So everything is about the house. I want to put this down too before we get into these words. I want Israel to know this. I want Israel to know that when it comes to the house, the way Yah has it set up is that not only is he concerned with the house, but when you get in the house, there's house rules.
House rules.
Now, can you come into the most important thing, which is his house, and just go around changing rules? Boy, I'd like to see you try it, man.
I don't like this over here. I'm going to just move this. I know you don't want this, but I'm going to do... Man.
What'll happen? Okay.
Swallow them up.
Your grandpa was 90-something, right?
He's about to be 90, yeah.
Almost 90. Matter of fact, told our body he's doing better.
Yes, hallelujah.
Go in there and man, just start pulling stuff off the wall.
Just change the channel while he's watching TV.
Just do and see what happens. Just see. At his age is what I'm trying to make. Even though you could probably take it, you ain't gonna do it, right? You just ain't gonna do it because you're just not.
No.
Now watch this. How come the Christian and the people who come out with that Christian mindset believe they can get in his house and then change his laws,
breaking all the rules,
his rules, his commandments, and then got nerve to say that somebody that's in the house with them told them to do it? Well, both of y'all getting a whooping.
Right. You can read the rules.
The rules
is posted for you to read.
Let's get in this, man. Let's go deep. Let's get in here. If y'all have this book, it'll be easier for you to follow along. If you don't have it, you can take these notes. But if you are ready to proceed, with 300 folk in the room, I think that's a good number.
Yes, indeed.
Because believe it or not, we have been teaching to this moment. All right, but everybody that's in the room, want you to put another 12 for the 12 tribes of Israel, and we're going to look at the bet, and we're going to be looking at this idea of the house to prove tonight, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the house itself carries everything, or Yah's goal or his intent was that everything you need will be in the house. All right. So that you will be able to look toward the house to find whatever it is that the family needed. And of course, everything that we do is for the betterment of the house, strength of the house, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to look at, and it's represented by the letter bet. And of course, the original letter for the bet, the original pictograph for the bet is a tent, and it is the picture of a tent. And the principles actually of the bet represents the house, and it also represents the idea of to go in. Okay, so it's not just a house, but the word bet, or the letter, it represents to go inside. Okay, so many times you'll see something that will speak to that. And we're going to give you several words tonight that's going to do it. All right, I want to start off really with the very first one, which is 10:24. We did this last week. Just read that first one, you're on 10:24.
10:24. Ba. The filling of an empty space. This root is closely related to, well, it gives you, did we read all that last week?
But okay. I just want you to just do this.
All right.
Come on.
So then we have the next word, enter. That's what the ba means, enter or entrance, to fill a space by entering it.
Yes.
Then we get ba, entrance. Next we get bawa, to fill or entrance again, to come or go into a space is to fill it. A void within oneself that desires to be filled.
Yes. Keep going.
But come, to fill a void by entering it. This can be understood as to come or to go.
All right. So here we dealt with this last week, so we're not going to spend a lot of time. But when we saw the work of creation, what Yah did was he filled the heavens and the earth.
Indeed.
And he first filled it with himself, the spirit of Yah, which is really the ruach of Yah.
Yes,
his breath was hovering over the face of the deep, right? And so then he enters in with his word. And with his word, he begins to fill the word. So this is where the word comes from, because in creation, the earth is considered to be our house.
Yes, indeed.
So Zion, the earth is the house for us. That's why the meek shall inherit the earth.
Hallelujah.
We ain't got time tonight. All right, but just understand that. All right, go to we did the I already. Go to 28. Go to 10:28. Number 10:28 in the book. I don't know. Is the Strong's number in here?
It is, but it'll be underneath.
Okay, when we get to the Strong's number, make sure you tell it to people so they can see it.
All right, so ba, need or box, an empty space needing to be filled.
So that's bet, hey, bet, hey, represents a box. Look what I got, man. Just so happened to have
the box ready.
A box. Now, why did I bring this out? Because I want to show you something about the word ba, box. When you see this, it's something inside of you automatically says something got to go in here.
Sure does.
Something needs to go inside of here, or this thing is used for something to come out, because without it, it's worthless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Even a child say, "Well, let me get in here."
Right. For the quickness.
Man, you know, if you had this around a child and open it up like this, just walk away, they're gonna climb in here.
Most definitely.
Something tells a person that a box is to be filled. Now watch this. If the box is the bet, right? and the bet hay, then obviously the house itself, we're talking about the house of the Hebrew, should be filled.
Yes, indeed.
Right?
Yep. It's a function.
Man, what is up with this idea, man? Hebrews don't want to have no children. We let the heathen talk to us.
Yeah.
Do you know that the heathen convinced us not to have no kids? Or just to have one?
Right.
Or just to have two?
Right.
That was the heathen.
Yeah.
You know, you can't find that in scripture.
Sure won't.
You know, it's the opposite.
Yes, it is.
In scripture, when a man's house is filled, that person is considered to be blessed.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
The very Hebrew Israelites that are born become the treasures of Yah that are then put into the box or into the house.
Yeah.
But the idea of filling something, Yah gives us the capacity to then fill. Right? Watch this. If this represents the house and it's an empty house, something feels weird.
It does.
Just having a box with nothing in it, sitting in the middle of the floor.
Like, what you doing with this empty box? You want me to throw it away?
Right.
Are you doing?
Don't we? Hey, with these Amazon and trucks and Primes rolling, Prime wheels rolling up our driveways every other day, right?
Oh my goodness. Man,
soon as they come in the house without them boxes, man, they tear that box open, pull that out. They don't just be like, oh, let's just keep this box.
Right.
No, either they're gonna put something else in the box or the box is going out.
Go.
Your life is also a container.
Come on.
You and I are not supposed to be empty.
That's right.
See, this is the way the Hebrews thought. They thought in terms of function.
A desired space to be filled.
Now, here's the bad thing. The devil want to fill your box too.
Sure does.
He does. Sure and if does. You don't be careful, you'll find your life, your box filled with more satanic stuff.
Yeah, too easy.
Than righteous.
Too easy.
And I think that's probably one of our problems today. One of the problems we're having among Hebrews is that when they wake up to truth, the box is so filled with the devil.
Yeah.
Satanism, pig, shrimp, lobster, Christmas, Easter, fornication, adultery, pride, arrogance. I can go on and on. So, man, look how much we got to unpack. We got to get so much stuff out this box so that we can then fill it. And doesn't the Bible tell us to be filled? But he says be filled with the Ruach.
That's it.
And the Ruach represents life.
Hallelujah.
All right. Our reason why I brought that box out is to show you the picture of it, because now you can see, as soon as you see it in your heart, you know that this is not just something to be sitting there. Either you're going to be putting in or you're going to be taking out. I want you to keep reading. Go read A. Wait. No. Read the rest of that definition, 1028.
1028, finishing. This root is closely related to the bet aleph, so the first word we went over, and bet yod as something that exists filling a void. So we're on A now. Bet again, or by again, I'm sorry, a void within oneself that desires to be filled.
And some of us fill this void a lot, and we go, man, something's missing.
Yeah.
Because as a box, as a container, we know something's supposed to be on the inside.
Right.
So there's a desire, and many times, man, like I said before, we get it filled with the wrong thing.
And we hear this so often from people who have awakened now. When we go around and see them face to face, they go, I always knew something was missing at church. I always knew something wasn't right. It didn't feel right. Well, like you said, that empty box won't ever feel right.
Right.
If you pack up a box and seal it and there's a whole bunch of space in there still, you'd be like, man, is there something else I could put in here?
That's true.
You know what I mean? So we still want that. We still have that desire, we have that desire to be filled.
All right. All right. Let's go to the next one. All right, so if y'all got that, what number was that?
That was 1028.
All right, put a 1028 in the chat. Move to the next.
And the Strong's number is 8392.
All right. Toda Rabah. All right, that's ba, which is bet, hey. All right, the next word we're going to look at, because we can't do every single word, but the next word we're going to look at is 1030. 1030.
Okay.
All right, and that is the word to spoil.
Mm-hmm.
All right, to spoil. That means to ruin, not like, well, you know what? I guess that's what they meant when it came to kids.
Yeah.
You spoil a child, rotten. You ruin them.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of spoil is to take away somebody's possessions. All right, so read that.
1030. Spoils, despise. The pictograph of the bet represents a house. The Zion represents agricultural implement or a weapon.
Wait a minute, you gotta read that slower, man. Read again.
The pictograph of a bet represents a house.
Correct.
That's the Zion.
Mm-hmm.
The Zion represents an agricultural implement or a weapon.
Correct.
Combined, these pictographs have the meaning of a house cut or attacked.
All right, so keep going.
An enemy would plunder a household for goods to supply themselves as a bird of prey attacks its prey.
All right, so here is the Zion, which represents to a weapon, or it can also represent, a cutting instrument. When you put those two together, the house and a cutting instrument, because look, I've told you this is the genius of our original language. You get a house cut. You get a house cut, or what they call a divided house.
Yes, indeed.
Or you also can call a fractured family. Or you can also call single parent homes. You can also call fatherless children.
Yeah.
I can go on and on.
Indeed.
So something happened to us that made us, where's my bet? That tore our house apart. And I've been telling y'all what did it. What tore our house apart was the heathen. If the bet is a house and our whole world centered around the house, the Aleph, you had the father, Abba, right? You had the mother, Ima. She's the glue. Father's a strong pole.
Yes, indeed.
We're going to get to and the brothers and sisters were the panels and the walls, right? So we have a word that says when you have bet zadi, that is the idea of to spoil a house. So who wants to do this? An enemy. When the enemy comes in, you can always tell an enemy because he's going to do this.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Even Hamashiach said, one of the problems is I'm going to be teaching and it's going to split the houses. Why? Because the devil going to be pulling some people one way.
Sure will.
I'm going to be going this way. But eventually he's going to explain something to you. He's going to say, if a house be divided against itself, it what? Can't stand. You know, we have a word that literally says that. So when Hamashiach made that statement, he was using the idea, or he was using the word buzz. They also is connected, they said, to the buzzard.
Yep, English buzzard.
Ain't that something? All right. Now, I want Iran to read each of these, starting with A, and we're going to go down a little ways, like A and then B. Okay. See, we won't take the whole thing, but at least hit that A. And let's see. Yeah, we'll just keep going.
Spoils. The removal of what is of value, as when an attacking army takes from the defeated all that is of value, or the loss of value of a food due to spoilage.
Now, what does that sound like? Is that what happened to us?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the house was divided.
Yes, indeed.
Israel as a nation was split.
Mm-hmm.
And then the enemies came in. And what did they do? They took all the things of value.
Mm-hmm.
They took our men,
yes, indeed,
our princes, our kings, our educators, our prophets. They took our gold, our silver, our mountains, our streams, our rivers, took our manuscript,
took it all,
took your last name. Man, when you told me this, boy, I'll never forget it. And then took us. Boy, you can't get no more plunder than that.
Took us.
And right now, we the only people on planet Earth. You got to think about how tragic that is.
Yes, indeed.
They can't go home.
Only people. Dang shame.
Well, you treat the Japanese too bad, he going back to Japan.
Sure will, with the quickness.
Man, you start messing around, man, you treat the Iranian bad, he going back to Iran. He'll tell you in a minute, I ain't got to stay here.
Right. I ain't taking this no more.
Man, I got one of my buddies work down at the gas station, right? Man, he from India. You know, he come and go anytime he get ready.
Right.
You know what he told me last time I talked to him?
What's that?
He said, man, I was a little broke. And I told my mom I need a little money. And she only sent me like 20,000. She only sent me like 20,000. He can go home anytime he get ready.
Only.
But can you go?
No.
Can we go back to Israel anytime we get ready?
Sure can.
No, because the house is divided. And the Bible uses the term utterly.
Yes.
So when he says you're going to be destroyed, he said utterly. And this word right here is one of those words. It describes what happened to us.
Yes, indeed.
What happened to our house. All right. I want you to read B, which is Zadi. Come on.
Spoil. It says again, let's see. In KJV, at least is saying is used as spoil, take away, prey, rob, take, caught, gathering, robber.
Have you heard the verse that says, my people are people who are robbed and spoiled?
Yes, indeed.
This is the Hebrew word behind that. Bet Zadi. All right. Let's go to E.
Bet
Zadi.
Aleph. Divide. A division of what is plundered.
Now, do you remember Hamashiach while he was being crucified? He only had one thing to his name, his garment.
Yes.
And what did heathens do?
Sure did. Tore it.
And did
Gambled over it.
Right.
Man.
See what I'm trying to show you is that our history and our culture and our story is in our words. But if we don't use our words anymore, we don't know they're even here. We can't draw the parallel.
Yeah, sure can.
I think Zion is getting that. If y'all got that, what number we on? Put a 1030 in the chat because we're dealing with the word to spoil the house. What does it mean? To divide it, to plunder it, and to take all of the whatever it was, take it all until there's nothing left. And that's what happened to us. Another word, H. Bet Zadi Hey.
Despise. To treat something as spoiled, no longer of value.
Didn't Isaiah say he would be despised and rejected?
Yes, indeed.
Ain't that what we did to him?
My goodness.
We treated him as though he had no value. That's why we said, give us Barabbas.
Yeah.
They said, well, what shall we do? Well, Hamashiach, who was called the Christ, said, let him be crucified. And boy, we paying for it right now. But you see, there's a word for what happened there.
Yes, indeed.
But what happened to him happened to the nation. See, we didn't have sense enough to know that what was going to happen to him was going to happen to us. So by us crucifying him and him being nailed to a tree, guess what happened to us in captivity?
Yes, indeed.
Nailed to trees, swung on trees,
yes, indeed.
hung on trees. Right?
Yeah.
He was beaten.
Yeah.
What happened to us in captivity? We were beaten.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on, man. He was put in prison.
Sure was.
Innocent.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to us? Getting free cased all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I can go on and on. We didn't know that. That's why when Isaiah said, I could see the people that's been plundered and spoiled.
Right.
And so when you see Hamashiach and what he went through, then you look at what we are still going through as a nation. Man, I just heard, and we ain't gonna make it tonight, but we're gonna try. I'm gonna go faster. But that's what I heard today. Just today, they're talking about the George Floyd case, right?
Right.
So they were interviewing the lawyer that represented several other people, right? And they said, since George Floyd death, being shot by a cop, nobody knows this, but there have been 130 or 135 shootings of Black people by cops since him. We've only heard like 2 or 3 on the news. Right. He said there's been 135 killings since George Floyd. You can't tell me we're not living among the land of our captive.
Right.
And that this kind of slaughter is not still going on. Man, I almost had to pull the car over. I said, since all that marching,
all of it,
all that burning, all that no justice, no peace, Black Lives Matter,
T-shirts and everything, still
35 or more killings of unarmed Black men and women. I want y'all to let that, Zion, I need y'all to sink in. And that is just what's being reported.
Right.
So what is not being reported? Thing is deep.
My goodness.
And that's gonna lead us to our next word, believe it or not. Come on. 1031. All right, we're moving to our next word is 1031, and it's bet het. Bet represents a house. A het represents a wall or division. All right. So you can already see what this word is about to mean. So let's go. Bet represents a house. Come on. Wait a minute.
Slaughter or knife.
Okay. So because the het here represents to divide. You remember when we studied that word we always would use hen, which is het noon. And we talk about how the wall divides the seed from that which was out, from that which is in. That's where we get our word grace from. It's the wall of separation that allows the seed to continue.
Right.
So when you put a bet in front of the wall, you get this particular word, bach. And bach represents to slaughter, which means the house is now cut. We saw that in the previous word, but this time the word means a knife. All right, and I got an illustration for you on this one. So here is another picture, one of our letters, one of our words. Matter of fact, where is my? Where I put my pen? I'll put it up here. So you have bet het. It's the knife. All right. Because the knife slaughters, and of course it cuts an animal that is often, in this case, like beef or whatever, that is used, obviously, eventually we're going to see it's used for the covenants and things like that. But I want you to know that this is our word for knife. The word for knife is connected to our house and the wall. All right, come on, let's read it.
The killing of an animal for slaughter by inserting the point of the knife into the throat to sever the artery.
Now, of course, the Maori had to make an executive decision. Not to put that picture up there tonight for all the people trying to learn Hebrew. Some of y'all a little weak and might pass out a little, get a little faint and don't finish the lesson. We just wanted to show you the point of the knife and that it was used for slaughtering our animals. All right. And of course, what do? We put it into the throat because we were humane. Right. We didn't do no making the animal suffer. Man, he like them heathens, man, sticking 12 or 13 spears into a bull. Right. And then they cheering it on. Man, that's animal cruelty. Sure is. Man, we wouldn't do that to our animals. No. And then they got a hooray. Right. But you already stuck spears in it. Right. How about you just standing there with him with no spears? Right. Boy, I like to see that thing get with them. Boy, I be cheering for the bull all the time. Get that heathen. Get that heathen. But it's your outlaw. Right. All over the world. Should be. Now, when we had the slaughter. Right. Wait, I'm talking about civilized. Mm-hmm. It's the European that's uncivilized when it comes to this. It's civilized. I didn't write this book. I better say that one more time. Y'all said Moray just writing that. Moray said that. Moray. Look, Jeff Benner did the research on our people to discover what certain words meant. Pointed a knife into the throat, sever the artery, bleed out. Any kind of butchering. Right. It represents death, right? Yes, indeed. And for those of you who said, oh, that's terrible, and you eating right now a steak or a burger or a piece of chicken, you got your nerve. Or enjoying your leather couch or your leather belt. Right. Got a leather wallet, man. What you think that just come from the one you eat? Yes, there have to be some slaughtering going on. And by the way, when Grandmama and them was wringing them chickens' neck, that's against Torah. Right. Ain't the way. They got that when they got around them Europeans. Right. They picked up some Hamites. Right. They picked up that from some voodoo or some hoodoo or something, right. Man. Dude, all you got to do, you ain't got to do all that. We raise chickens out here. Sure do. And all you got to do, man, just hit the little artery, man. Let him bleed out, let her bleed out, and then you going to make you some chicken. Right. Oh, that's sweet. Right. Man, what was wrong with that? It's not scripture. All right, come on. I want you to read, let's see, what else I want you to see on that one. Okay, drop that one, go to the next one. All right. 1033. 1033. We're going to the next word. Bet yod. Need, empty, sorrow. All right. So now we're looking at bet yod, and this is a word for sorrow. Notice that sorrow is also connected to the bet. Sorrow is connected to the house. And listen to this. Listen to this definition, Zion. So the pictograph of a bet, a picture of the house, represents what is inside. The yod is the hand. When combined, these mean inside the hand. So, okay, keep going. An empty hand desiring to be filled. The root is closely related to by the words we went over before with the box. You want me to keep going to end? Keep going. I'm gonna show the picture. Well, are you going to stick with that? Huh? Because the next one's going to, excuse me. No, it's going to say avoid within oneself that desire to be filled, and then keep going. Sorrow. A pain of desire. Sorrow. Strong number 17. Poor, one who is in need. Needy, poor, beggar. So you see again, these all have to do with a house. And in this case, sorrow, according to the Hebrew people, our culture, was when the hand is empty. And it's the hand that's connected, obviously, to the house. We're going to show you that because most of our sorrows come from the house. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. It is. But when there's nothing in the house, like no food, it's going to be a pretty sad day, right? Most definitely. Oh, what about when you are empty on the inside? Right. That's going to create sorrow. Or when a person is very, very poor, That means you're very needy.
Yes, indeed.
Most of the time, poverty also carries with it sorrow, right? And then this the word also has to do with a desire. And that is, if you're always desiring something, it's going to lead you to sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my goodness, y'all need to read Solomon's writing on that, because believe it or not, the wisest man in the world was also one of the most sorrowful men.
Yeah, it was.
And he had a lot of pain.
Yes, he did.
Okay, which is the next one, 1034.
Weep or tears. The pictograph.
I mean, always give the letter. So we got bet cough.
The pictograph of the bet is a tent representing what's inside. The cough is the palms of the hand. Combined, these mean the inside the palms.
All right. So when a man or a woman, one of the natural things that they do when they cry is you put your hand, you put you cry like people put their hands over their eyes.
Yeah.
So they also saw that. As sorrow is connected to sorrow. What's inside, remember I told you the bet is also in.
Right.
So what is now inside of the palm, when you place your eyes in the palms when crying, that's weeping.
Yeah.
And the idea is you weeping from mourning or from something like something get in your eye. First thing you do is grab and cover your eye. So that's how we got that word. That's how that word works. Now I want to show you, I want to go further in that one. Go to C.
So Aleph Bet Kaf deals with roll, the rolling of the tears down the cheek.
Now that particular word is the word we're going to see when you get to the Revelation. It says, and Yah will wipe away all tears from their eyes. Now we're talking about them tears that be rolling.
Hallelujah.
Them are the ones he's going to wipe with his hand.
Indeed.
He's going to do it. Boy, don't make me shout.
Right.
I'm just trying to show you. All right. So then, of course, they saw the rolling down of the tears and them CUs. Okay. Let's see. Did I have anything else in there? No. I want to go now to 1035. Y'all put a 1035 because this is the word bet lamet bal. All right. Bal.
Flow or nothing. A flowing of any substance. In English, ball, bowl, flow, with the exchange of the F for a B.
So it could be fall. All right. Now go ahead. A.
Bowl. Nothing. To come to nothing when effort is given. Nothing, none, not, nor, lest, nothing, not, neither, no.
All these words are bet
used.
lamet. All right. This is the one I want you to look at. Come
on. Bet yod lamet yod tav. Except a flowing away of all except one.
Okay. So we have a word, and it is light. I guess that's how you would pronounce it. I could be corrected. But the way that word is, everything that is going to flow out except one. So the word is except.
Yeah.
So when we use that word except, we mean everything else is gone. The word light, I don't know how to pronounce that. So watch this. All through our culture, our prophets talked about how our nation would be wiped out, except what?
Got that remnant.
Remnant. So all throughout whatever, there's always this thing of there's an exception.
Yes.
Oh man, Israel be destroyed, except. Man, it's gonna be taught except.
Hallelujah.
Hamashiach even talked about, man, everybody gonna be except he said the whole world will be destroyed, even the elect, but they're not. Because if the world could get the elect, they would. So it's an exception.
Right.
That's us.
Yes, indeed.
And we have a word for that. And again, that word is connected to our house. And the reason I wanted to show you that is because the word is, watch the next word.
Bet Lamed Yod.
And what does that mean?
Without.
That's our word, without. So obviously, if something is full and something flows out of it, then the thing that was full is now without.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when you connect that to the house, the house was full, but let's say everything that was in the house that was good and righteous flowed out of the house. Now the house is without. All right. There's a Hebrew word. It's our word without here is connected to the house. All right. Now watch this one. This is going to get to this word right here.
You want me to go to just
Tav about.
Okay. Tav Bet Lamed. Earth, a land flowing with substance.
Second one.
Confusion, an action that lacks any results. Used in the sense of bestiality.
In what?
Bestiality. Confusion.
It's confusion. It's when, see, Hebrews knew better than that. But the heathens was doing that.
Right.
In Egypt. And we know them Europeans. Oh my goodness gracious, to this very day.
It's on page 67, by the way.
You gotta put laws in place to keep these Europeans and these other nations, man, from always wanting to jump on some animal. They have to make it against the law.
To this day.
And do you know in this old nasty country, you got people every year trying to marry their animals?
Sure are. Sure are.
Is it fact?
Facts.
We're told not to do that.
Unfortunately.
Are we told that it's good or bad?
It's bad.
The word is confusion.
Confusion.
According to the Torah.
An action that lacks any results.
According to the Torah, if any Hebrew Israelite breathing oxygen is caught doing some kind of madness, what is it?
Them and the animal got to go.
Look, y'all, we don't play that. We don't say that's your choice.
No.
We don't say, oh, no, that's, everybody, whatever they want to be, they can do it. That's not what the Torah says.
Sure don't.
Our culture said, if you do that, the beast and the person has got to die. With the quickness.
Yeah.
It's confusion. Now, notice this. When you go to the law, you're going to get the word, it's confusion. And the word is confusion. So you see how they're getting it.
Yeah.
The English translators are taking our words,
right,
acting like they heck are smart.
Right.
but see, now we're learning our own culture.
Right.
We know based on our culture, we wasn't messing with no monkeys.
Come on.
So how they gonna try to put AIDS on us?
Come on.
We ain't messing with what is wrong with it? Man, that was made in the lab. Sure that was a European invention.
Yep.
We know better than that as Hebrews.
Right.
And let me tell you something. If some of you Hebrews got that issue, whoa, you better hurry up and repent. Quickly. You're so close to hell, you have no clue. Because it's confusion. And Yah is not the author of confusion. The Ruach is not the author of confusion. The very next word is ruin.
A complete flowing away of something by destruction.
That's what will happen. You continue in that stuff. All right. The next word I want you to go to is, that was the flow. Oh, I want to go to this word bomb, which is 1036.
1036 on page 68. Bomb, bet mem, high. Anything that is tall or high. The next one. Bet hey mem, beast, a tall creature.
So you can see that when we look at our animals, the beast of the field, tall. Now that is a cow. For those of you who don't know, I'm from the country. I'm just figuring it. Now watch this. That is a real picture. That's a real cow, and that's a real heathen holding that rope. Right there, smiling, Chester smiling. Now, we don't understand How this animal got so big, but we do know it's the tallest animal in the world. It's the world's record. Our word for beast is tall, but it also is a tall creature. So we know then that when we looked at creatures, now watch this. Did we know the difference between humans and animals?
Oh, yes.
So what is making some of our Israelite brothers and sisters think that humans can be on the level? I'm sorry, that beasts can be put on the level as us humans, as Adam.
Right. Confusion.
You know where that come from? Europeans. They'll save the whale and shoot a Negro.
Come on.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Boy, they'll go out there, man, and hug a tree because an owl sitting up in there. But boy, they won't hug an Israelite to save their life.
Come on.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, they think that the beast is equal to the human.
It's not so.
Now, I'm sort of vegetarian, right? Everybody knows that. And but there's some vegans out there. Let me tell you something. They say, I don't eat anything like such and such, right?
Right.
And you ask them why. And they say, because all life is the same. Wrong answer. All life ain't the same.
It's just not.
Man, look here. It's almost, by the way, our feast days is coming up.
Yes, indeed. Hallelujah.
Have you seen the blossoms on the trees
coming?
Yes. So we know that can't be done in December, right?
Right.
So we got some Hebrews out here, crazy as they want to be, right? Because they're not paying attention to the signs of the time. But we watching the blossoms.
Yes, indeed.
Watching the bees. So I'm driving, right?
Yeah.
A couple of bees, man, hit my windshield. Was that the same as a Negro hitting my windshield? Was that the same with me hitting somebody on the road?
No.
Ain't no law against that.
Right.
You're not going to jail for driving and killing bees and flies and mosquitoes. Right. So what make you think all life is on the same level? It does not make sense.
No.
And the Hebrews never went for that.
Sure did.
Because we had a word for human, Adam. We had a whole different word for animals. It was bima, or bahima. We'll get to that in a second. Right. Let's read. What number we on?
That was 1036.
Okay.
Continue with the high, or
hold on. Let me 1036.
Page 60.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
What am I on? High again. A high place. It is Bet Mem Hay. High place, heights, wave.
All right. Now we're gonna see something else.
Yod Bet Mem. Mary, brother-in-law.
Come on.
When a husband dies, his brother takes his place as his sister-in-law's husband. Any children born to him will be of his brother's line in order to continue lift up his family.
All right. Now I got to share something quickly about this. In our culture, when a brother died, a kinsman, that's a better term,
right,
was responsible for taking care of and marrying his brother's wife, so that she wouldn't have to swing on poles and try to pay the rent, wouldn't become a hoe, a prostitute, right? So she wouldn't be in the streets and put out. She was to always be covered.
Yeah.
Now this is what they don't tell the people. They don't tell the people that the brother has a choice. The whole book of Ruth.
Right.
Man.
Right.
You know, sometimes, man, after teaching 30-something years, teaching these Hebrew Israelites for 10 years, and then when you tell them that, they, no, your brother have to. You didn't read the book of Ruth.
Nope.
It's a whole book about that.
Right.
Boaz was not the next of kin.
No.
There was another brother, man, who was the next of kin. He was like, nah, I'm good. Man, my wife, man, talked to me clearly before I left home and said, nah, I'm
come
good.
Back with
we good. Everybody's good here.
Right.
Fine. You get that. Whatever happened.
Right.
He was like, no, I'm good. And then the king was like, hey, did you hear the word? They told the king, did you hear? And he was like, whoa. So then he becomes the kinsman redeemer.
That's it.
That's what the book is about.
It is.
And the reason that law is set up like that is because eventually Hamashiach
Hallelujah.
has to redeem us.
Yes, he does.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He has to redeem his kinsmen, which is going to be us. We are going to be his bride.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's a picture there that has to be in place, because there's some heathens that's going to come in.
Right.
There's some people that, like Ruth was a Moabite.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this Moabite lady get in? Oh, yeah, woman.
Mm-hmm.
How did she get in the family?
Mm-hmm.
Because she became David's grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boaz, and then Jesse. Yeah, great grandmother. Because that law was set up.
Yeah.
Or she would have been out.
Sure would have.
And of course, there would have been no David.
Mm.
And our king is from the Davidic bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
But no Hamashiach.
Right.
So the law was in there in order to protect and to preserve life.
Right.
All right. So I just wanted to put that out there, that's part of the law. Remember, I told you everything is about the house. And this is about taking care of the house. All right. Now, let's go to the next one.
1037.
Y'all put a 1037 in the chat. And what is it?
Bet noon. Ben. Build tent panel intelligence.
Okay. So the next word that you see that have to do with a house is ben. And I found this picture of the outside of a tent. And the reason why I'm using this picture is because of these panels.
Mm-hmm.
Because last time we tried to put up a picture of the panels and we couldn't find a clear picture. But tonight I found this picture. This is what would happen. These skins here, whether it's made out of skin or cloth, wool or whatever, over time, they wear out. Over time, they wear out. And the idea is, in order to keep the house going, they would just take the one that was going bad out.
Mm-hmm.
Use it for something else, put on the floor, whatever.
Right.
Then they would get another piece and replace it. Okay, so here's a good way to explain it. Man, I keep putting my pens down. Oh, here we go. So let's say this is the wall. If the wall gets a hole in any of these panels, they're just removed and another put in its place. So it represents the wall is continuing. That the wall continues to stand. Why? Because the panels keep getting replaced over and over again. Mm-hmm. So you build the tent with panels, and then eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to keep replacing these panels. And we're going to see, and we saw that last week, 2 weeks ago. Huh?
Mm-hmm. 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, we saw that in the representation of the son, and we also saw that in the representation of the daughter. Mm-hmm. So we won't go back into that tonight, but last week I just didn't have an illustration to give you that is as good as this one. So you can clearly see this is what the son and daughter role is. I told Yaron, I said, man, we listen to the heathen. Mm-hmm. And let the heathen tell us we don't need a bunch of kids. But we were supposed to have enough panels, right, for the house to continue. Right. Right? Mm-hmm. Some of us, man, when we die, that's the last of us, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it don't make it, that's not the way he designed it.
Sure not.
The family was supposed to continue. And isn't it interesting that I shouldn't say only, but most of our good memories now are memories in the past with family.
Right. Right.
Because that's when we had families. Mm-hmm. But now, because everybody's got one or two kids, right, the reunions ain't what they used to be. No. You know, the family get together than what they used to be. Why? Right. Because we're not having that many family members.
Right.
And we're not replacing the tent. Mm. And then we got so many of our tent panels not in the house. Many of the tent panels are in the prison.
Right.
on drugs, on the streets. They don't even know that they are a vital part of the tent.
Don't know.
So if you're not helping make the tent, man, it's a waste.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to see that because that comes from last week's lesson. All right, and then you brought out the part about the straw.
Right.
Bring it out again for these heathens, for these Hebrews, so we can all get this understanding once again before we close this.
So underneath 1037, you have Mem Tav Bet Nun, straw.
Mm-hmm.
When more permanent structures were built, they were constructed of stones and bricks, made of clay and straw, replacing the tent panels as the main component of construction for dwellings.
So, did we just say in the beginning that we didn't stay in tents?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't this heathen tell us just now that we didn't stay in tents? Again, what makes people think, man, that some kind of way the slavers rescued us, when in reality, man, they plundered us.
Yes, indeed.
We were in houses.
Yeah.
Brick houses.
Spoiled us.
They still make construction brick houses like this today.
Right.
Man, we had upstairs, downstairs, guest quarters. Man, we had stalls and stuff. It would be like today having a parking garage.
Right.
We had walls built around our houses. Man, we had gardens. And then they came in, man, and sacked it.
Yeah, they did.
Man, tore every house to the ground.
That's
But we got a word dealing with the bad that's letting the people know that we moved from tents into brick structures.
Yes, indeed.
And that we didn't just use brick, we used the fiber. That's where the straw come in.
Right.
That's intelligence.
Yes, it is.
We're not just throwing up mud huts.
Right.
Then a couple of ants come in, man. That thing, man. No. You heathens, boy. You're going to pay for misrepresenting Yah's people.
Yes, indeed.
This is our culture and our language. This language existed before they even had a written language.
Right.
They got their languages from us. I'm talking about the European. You read it on every letter.
Everyone.
This word came from this, came from this.
Everyone.
You know what you're going to never see, Zion? You will never see someone say, this Hebrew word comes from the Greek word. You'll never hear this Hebrew word comes from the Roman word, or this Hebrew word comes from the Greek word. the English word. No. All of the Hebrew words come from Hebrew words.
Right.
It's the way it is. All right. Which gets you to the next one. Bet Nun. Nun is what? Oh, I'm sorry. It's right under straw.
Build.
Go ahead.
Building. The building of a family or structure for housing the family.
Come on. See?
Build. That's Aleph Bet Nun.
Build
stone.
Aban. Oh, wait, stone. Oh,
stone.
Yes. Come on.
They just have Hebrew and Aramaic, both the same word. It's used 282 times, so that's a lot.
Go to
we're
F.
on page 70, by the way.
Go to F.
F. Hey, Bet Nun. Hard. The hardness of a stone or brick.
Yes. Now, guess what they're going to use? Ebony. That's us. Don't we got a magazine called Ebony?
Yes,
we used to.
Yeah,
it represents black folk, don't it? That word is our word.
A hardwood.
A hardwood, ebony. They know who you are, Zion. You the only one don't know who you are. They know this. They know that ebony is us. They call us ebony.
Yes, they do.
Because it resembles a wood. Now, how is this wood a part of our language if we didn't live around where this wood is grown?
Right.
Can you imagine how would you have this as part of your language and you in the sand?
Yeah, right.
No, man, we had to be living somewhere where this hardwood was growing. And y'all know, being a musician, I know where these woods have to come from for these instruments. And by the way, the European is just cutting down all the ebony trees. It's a shame. Running out because they raping the land. All right, come on, man. Oh, I like this one. G.
Bet, hey, noon. The part, I'm sorry, build or thumb.
Right, represents the thumb of the hand. Our people saw that and understood that Yah gave us the way we have a functioning thumb separates us from everything else on the planet. Come on.
I like this
part of the body.
The part of the body understood as the builder by the Hebrews.
They said the reason that you can build is because you have that thumb. So the thumb was represented as the builder. Isn't that something? All related to the language. See, and what we're doing is just taking the letters, putting them together, and then seeing the definitions. All right, another one, H.
H. Bet, noon, hay. Build or building. A structure built for occupation. Bet, noon, hay. Build. To build or construct a building, home, or family.
Yes.
They use build, build up, builder, repair, set up, building, make, and children.
So we see that not only is there the house made up of the brick and stone, we've been saying that in the panels, but when it really comes down to it, the family is about children. It's all representation of the children, the generation. All right, now let's drop that one.
You want to hit J?
Oh, you know what? This is the one I was going to spend more time with anyway. Let's just go through it. Yeah, let's go through them all.
All right. Bet, yod, noon. Plan, intelligence.
Oh, yeah, intelligence. They tried to say you was ignorant.
Right.
You was stupid. You didn't know nothing. You was a dumb ape. You was 3/5 human. They're going to pay for that.
Sure will.
Our word have to do with intelligence. Our word was bet, Vav noon, which is born, plan, intelligence. Now listen to this. Come on.
The skill of the mind and hands to build.
We're the greatest builders on the planet. We understood that building represented skill, and we had a word for that. And it was about, again, building. It's about a house. Okay, come on.
Before the tent is constructed, the location and orientation must be carefully considered according to weather, view, and size. The planning and building of a house, structure, or family.
So the idea is, remember how Mashiach said, man, you don't go building your house up on the sand. He said a foolish man does that, right? He said the wise man builds his house on a rock.
Yes, indeed.
So that means the wise man got some intelligence.
Right.
We're not like the heathen.
Right.
We don't build our houses on cliffs.
No.
Then when the rain comes in, the thing slide down the hill.
Right.
Boy, hey man, I make mockery of some of my messages, right? Boy, I got pictures, y'all. I'm serious. I didn't think about it tonight. I could have did it. I got pictures of out here in California. Because you California born too.
Right on the cliff.
You know where
the rains come.
Dude, they slide.
My house.
And you know when it's been to go to, man. That mug starts slow like this. They be like, there it goes. All of it. We like, you ain't no Hebrew. Ain't a Hebrew on the planet. Unless he become European. Unless he doesn't come cuckoo.
Right.
Man, I'm not gonna put my house, man, on no sand. Right next to no cliff. I'm gonna do just what he said. I'm gonna intelligently say, no.
Right.
Let me tell you what else when these heathens build. You ever seen these heathens build their houses in Tornado Alley?
Right.
I be like, what is wrong with these heathens?
Let's build it back up.
Every year, man. Everything let's go. Okay, how many years that tornado been coming through here? It come every year, and you put your house right back in the same spot.
We'll build a better tornado shelter.
You rode your trailer right back to the same trailer park. Yes, sir, I did. You didn't use your intelligence. I got another one, man. So I know
That's us.
You know what I'm talking about?
I
told you about that.
You told me every time I drive by, I look up there and go, what?
Explain to them what we have less than 5 miles from the house. Tell the whole world.
So it's a river that's there that is now a little dried up, but it's still a riverbed. So water can still fill it. And there are homes right at the bottom where the water will go. They're just waiting for it so they could be on TV crying and
and I got news for the whole world. There is not nary a Hebrew Israelite down there next to that water. Nary one.
They didn't build a levee. They didn't build a
there's nothing.
Just
it's
clear pathway.
The river flows every year, right? Mm-hmm. And if we have a whatchamacallit, it's over. Right. What they call El Nino,
right?
And every time I go by, when you're on first moved out here, I say, you're right, I preach that sermon about the sand. I said, man, look at that house down there.
Right.
And I'm talking about this a nice house.
It is.
Oh, but that thing cannot stand that water, I guarantee you. So there was no intelligence there.
None.
That was stupid.
Very.
You know what I'm saying?
He's like, oh man, this land is cheap. Somebody got over on him.
So the wise man's supposed to build his house with consideration and intelligence. We would know that based on our language.
Right.
But they didn't teach our kids this in kindergarten.
No.
They didn't teach our children this in Sunday school. Mm-mm. No, we have to do it now. Because people graduating with seminary degrees, man, and doctorate degrees, right. And they building their house on cliffs. We trying to save lives. That's what we doing tonight, right. Man. We trying to save lives. We trying to
use some intelligence.
Wait a minute. I got one more to say in California, because I'm not all over the world, but California. Mm. What is up with the heathen building in Santa Ana? Don't the fires come every year, man? They gonna come
worse.
This year.
And they get worse every year, and they ain't moved yet.
Every year the Santa Ana wins. Some heathen out there smoking weed. You know what I mean? And he flipping bud, every year. Somebody out there camping. Yep. And don't put it out all the way, man, because they, half drunk.
Right.
They say, it's all right. And the wind whip up every single year. Called the Santa Ana wind.
We'll see it again.
They're going to whip up the fires. And then you're going to see heathen snotting. I'll be just looking in the crowd.
Like, why haven't y'all left here?
Is there a Hebrew in here anywhere? Now, I'm not even talking about an awake Hebrew. Even a slumber brew.
Ain't one of them.
No, we're going to be right on Martin Luther King Boulevard. No, we're going to be right down there, man, next to the liquor store and First Baptist Church and the Church of God in Christ and all that, right. Man. The hood, I'll be like, wow.
Using enough intelligence, at least not to build it.
We at least know not to do that. We like, no, we're going to back up away from the cliff.
Right. We ain't going to be in the
We ain't going to be up in the mountain with them Santa Ana fires.
We ain't going to be on the riverbed.
We ain't going down in no riverbed.
We ain't in no trees.
And we sure ain't finna build no house in a tree. The heathen when the winds blow the tree house down, man, they go to crying. You spent $500,000 on that tree house. Oh, you heathens. We know that y'all don't understand the bet. Mm. You grew up in caves and stuff. You didn't understand the bet like we understand the bet. The bet was the center of our lives.
Yes, indeed.
It was the center, and that's what we proved tonight. That is all in the house.
All in the house.
I got one more thing to do, but let's go one more. Because read the last one. We were going to do this one. More. Yeah, do this one. Which is 1043. Let's go to 1043.
1043.
All right, now we're looking at Bet Resh, which is Bar.
On page 72.
Mm-hmm, Bar. And I don't know. I'm just assuming that is the B sound for the bet, and the rest is what we use our R sound. So I'm just assuming that it's Bar. All right. Now notice this word.
Feed grain The pictograph of the bet is a picture of the tent, but also represents the family which resides inside the tent. The resh is a picture of a head. Combined, these have the meaning of family of heads. The plant families of grains such as wheat and barley have a cluster of seeds at the top of the stalk called heads. These grains were used for food for both man and livestock. English think of barley, a grain, beer made from grain, boar as fat.
Okay, I'm gonna use this picture right here. Let's see if I can put this. I want to show Zion what we're talking about.
Right.
All right. This is very, very important, Zion. I'm gonna click this. I want you to see this. Okay, you see though that wheat and how it comes to a head. All right, that's the idea of bar. We're gonna get to that in a minute. We're gonna see that eventually this wheat, we're gonna know it as like barley. That's one of the English words that's borrowed from this idea. But the idea of wheat represents that it goes to a head. Now, why is that important? Because it also will represent leadership. And I'll show you that. Because, read that. It's a picture of the head.
From the top again?
And it says meaning the family of it, right there. Combine these.
Combine these have the meaning.
Combined
these have the meaning of family of heads.
Okay, so the Israelites, as a nation of people, remember this? They became what? A family of heads. Remember that Moshe, coming out of Africa and Egypt, leading the people, was leading by himself. And then what he decided to do, I need that picture again. What he decided to do,
to the left.
Oh, there we go. I want this one. Oh, that's perfect. What he decided to do was to get the leaders of the families together, right? Of the 12 tribes,
right.
Where we got our 70 elders.
That's it.
And that became the family of heads.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So all the heads of the family, and here's a perfect picture of it. Because the idea is you take the all the leaders of the house and they are all bound together as one. So that is the way it was supposed to be. But now you're going to always have them leaders talking about, nah, we ain't going to the promised land because of the giants.
Right.
Woo! Them Hebrews right there are the ones, man, I can't stand.
Yes,
my goodness. Now you was chosen, right, by your tribe
to lead, and you a punk.
And
we scared. You didn't see what y'all just did? Brought y'all through all that? Oh, they tall though. We like grasshoppers compared to them.
If they real tall, they might be behemoth.
Right.
Right? What is going on here? What this is don't make no. You see how the heads of the tribes were supposed to be coming together,
right?
To encourage.
Yes.
First Moses.
Right.
They weren't supposed to be going against Moses.
No.
So Moshe faithfully leads them right to the border of the promised land.
Indeed.
But then the leaders, man, got all scary and it's weird. Matter of fact, the majority of our troubles came from the so-called heads that were supposed to be one.
Well, that was what I was telling you. I was rereading Exodus earlier this morning in my daily devotion. And when Moshe was going up the mountain and the time he was told to bring, right before he got the 10 Commandments, the tablets, he was told to bring Aaron and the 70. And they came and they sat there at the foot to see the feet of Elohim, the feet of Yah. They already had it verbally, do not make any images. They already had that. But they came back down while Moshe's up there. They didn't make an image of the mountain because they heard the power, they're scared. They didn't make it of clouds. they made it of golden calf from Egypt and said, "This is your Elohim."
He sure
but
did.
they at least, I said they at least could have made it an idol of 2 feet. These 70 men saw the feet of Yah, it says.
Wow.
But they said, no, we're going to make it out of a golden calf because that's who rescued us. No, you saw the feet of Yah. You the 70 men, you the 70 leaders. You are the heads.
Which tells us something.
While Moshe is up there, y'all supposed to be keeping them. They don't have the 10 commandments at that time.
And they were supposed to be being led. They were supposed to be filled with the Ruach.
Right.
But now they filled with self. And the people make us a God. How about this? No!
You heard what he just said?
Right.
You see the clouds right now?
Man, look.
Y'all was peeing on yourselves just the other day. Now y'all, we need something.
And you know, y'all, when Moshe came down, man.
Oh man, hot.
Boy, it angered, man.
So hot, he broke
them.
Y'all just gave him to him.
He broke them.
Got beside himself on that one.
He said, "You Hebrew Israelite Negroes." Woo! I can't believe it. I can't believe this.
Y'all supposed to be leading the people in the righteousness.
Y'all said, amen. I'm cool with your zeal. But you're gonna go make. We gonna.
I didn't tell you to break.
Yeah, you done broke my.
Get back up here.
Man, I did a lot of work. You get back up in the mouth. Man, look.
Bad leadership.
What I'm trying to show is we as a people have words that tell our story.
Right.
But they never told us these words and the meaning behind these words. Like this grain being tied together representing a family of heads.
Right.
So where's our family of heads today?
Come on. Yeah.
All the camps, right? You can't call them the family of heads. No. They won't talk to each other.
Come on. Fighting on street corners.
Man, they all on the same street. Yeah. Man, ain't nothing but Christianity warmed over again. When I was growing up, man, on the same block, Church of God in Christ, Baptist, Methodist. So now we got alphabet soup here, alphabet soup here, alphabet soup.
Right.
And they all got their alphabet letters.
Right.
And they all, man, it's a hot mess.
Right.
So now they're not our leaders. But I do believe that Yah is getting ready to raise up heads of the families of the 12 tribes. He got to, once again, to help us become one, ahad.
Right.
Because the Bible says Judah will not vex Ephraim.
Right.
And Ephraim will no longer have a problem with Judah, which means some kind of way we're getting ready to get back together.
Hallelujah.
All right. I had to bring that out because I want to show you this picture. And I'm going to explain this. And then I should have Yaron read it first, but what is she doing? Or yes, a she. What is she doing? Okay, right here, you see this is a cow, or you could say an ox, but this is a cow. And she's feeding them grain. The reason why you feed, so you have the hay right here. But grain, and those of you who don't know, you're not in the country, I get it. You know, we in the country, and we have both. We have grass for the cows, cattle out here, which is the goats and stuff. But we also have grain. Grain helps fatten them. Okay, so grain is special. Grass is everywhere. They eat hay all the time, but grain helps fatten them up, and it also helps them help make them strong. So the bigger and stronger that the animal is, especially when you're talking about an ox, which is the aleph. The greater the aleph is able to work.
Yeah.
The greater he's able to work and do his job, then he's able to then do what? Do what he needs to do for the house, which is he's going to plow, he's going to work, he's going to train people, train the others. I mean, and go on and on. Let me tell you what was going on in Israel. Negroes were so mean. They would take an ox and put a muzzle on it, making the ox work for them.
Right.
But don't want the ox to eat none of the grain that he's treading. You know, y'all had to make a law.
Right.
Don't muzzle the ox.
Right.
That's treading out the corn. Now, they said, well, he gonna eat all the corn.
He's gonna eat all the corn. Y'all know, just being stingy.
Yeah, that's being stingy. He can't eat all the corn, but he can't hardly work hungry.
Right.
So now you beating him. Ha! Ha! And then I read the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
I said, they talking about the Morey.
Right.
Because you know there's some Hebrews out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't want the Morey to have nothing.
Right.
They said, you need to wear a muzzle.
Right.
And I'm trying to tread out the corn for the house of Israel.
Right. You say give them all the food, all the money.
No, just says, man, let the brother eat.
Right.
How are you eating? Every day, every week.
Right.
Don't we got hundreds of videos?
Mm-hmm.
In the thousands.
Yes, indeed.
And you know, it's still some Hebrews, man, will not, man, hand you a few grains.
Right.
Don't want you to eat no corn.
Right.
I don't know what they want my babies to eat. They just want to eat air sandwiches. Oh, we want you to keep working though.
Right.
We want you to keep teaching.
Keep doing the work.
Oh man, we look forward to the videos. We look forward to the lessons.
Right.
We want to learn. We like the teaching. We like this. Okay, but you want to put a muzzle on.
Right.
That's crazy. That's what he was saying. And that's what people do.
Yeah. They do.
And Toda Rabbah for those of you who don't do that for the art.
Right.
Some of y'all are so kind, you'll be like, no, I'm eating.
Yeah.
So at least the ox should eat.
Right.
Man, that's cold-blooded, man, for you to eat and the ox is hungry.
Right.
No, we're going to put a little bit for the ox. Because the book said don't muzzle him. That don't mean shut him up. It means don't stop him from eating the grain.
Right.
Because you eating the grain.
Right.
He's working.
Right.
You know, I told my daughter, I think I told you this before. She said, so Dad, so what is your actual job? I said, I feed Zion. She said, so just like once a week? And I said to myself, poor child, she have no idea I'm treading the corn every day.
Every day.
While she sleep, I'm treading the corn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the morning, I'm treading the corn. Everybody else is hobnobbing it.
Right.
And funky chickening and carrying on, man. Morey treading the corn.
Right.
Right. So I can have something to present to Zion every time I get behind these cameras. But I'm not going to get up behind these cameras with nothing to say.
Right.
And I hope people don't think that everything I'm saying come off the top of my head. No, this comes from years and years of work and study and research.
Right.
And so all of us who have been called to do this work, because not every ox was the ox that's treading the corn.
Right.
Some of them cows out there, man, you just slaughtered them and ate them.
That's it.
But some of them you set aside because you knew they did certain work for the
function
that was going to eventually, that's my whole point. It was going to eventually help the family. So you're going to not muzzle the ox that's going to be helping your family.
Right.
That don't make no sense to muzzle the ox that's helping your family, because if he dies of starvation, then your family is just out. I can hear people saying, I'm going to take my chance. Don't do that.
Please don't do that.
So do you know we should share? And that was the picture of the grain being fed to the oxen, right?
Right.
But as a Morey, you know, I share.
Yeah, you do.
When you think I'm gonna be the only man, that's not my MO. Everybody knows me knows better than that.
Right.
No, I ain't gonna just be receiving and then never give. That don't make no sense. Because I want to be blessed too.
Right.
And there's some people online every now and then, when I listen to them, man, they might say something to help me out. Oh, they finna get something.
Most definitely.
Yeah, they gonna get something from the Morey. Shoot, man, I'm not gonna sit there and eat off of somebody, eat after all that work they doing, and I'm like,
oh, that's good. Compliments to the chef. I'm out.
No, y'all gonna see a little something from the Morey.
It's coming their way.
Coming in some kind of form, because we share one with another.
We do. We're in this together.
And look, man, we all are strengthened by it.
Yes, we are.
And that was a plug.
A drink said, closed mouth, don't get fed.
So there is a picture of grain being fed to an ox. And that is one of our words, picture of the head. Combine these two and you have the idea of family of heads. The plant with the family of heads is of course, grain. It was like wheat and barley. So here it is. Once it's taken off, you can see it clearly. All right. And then these grains were used for both food. For food for what? Both man and livestock. So you eat this grain, don't you? And the ox eats the grain.
So it does.
And that's what I was saying earlier. With like a mower or a teacher. You eat, he should eat.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Now, what was made by it? Can you see it? Verse 43 at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Read it.
So
from the barley.
Barley, a grain. Beer made from grain.
Oh, so our people made beer. They said the Hamites started the beer. Lying again. They lying again. Everybody say Egyptians started beer.
Right.
That's not true. The Hebrews had beer. Because in our language. Right?
Yep.
The Hamites, if they did get it, they got it from us.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying we the best.
Right.
That's not my point.
Right.
Because let me tell you something about that heathen. That heathen can drink 50 times more beer than you. Right. Don't even try it. Benjamin Franklin said that's how he knows white Jesus is blessing him. Because it's beer in America. So let's not even try to get on their level when it comes to beer.
Right.
Beer is life.
Yeah.
Man, every time. Hey, Zion, y'all watch this. I know time is getting late. Watch this stuff. From now on, watch this. Every time you hear these heathens talk about things getting back to normal, they're going to always use the word beer. Watch. Yes. Are you ready for things to get back to normal? Oh, yes. I can't wait till I can just go out and have a beer with my friends. So wait a minute. Excuse me, sir. So how do you feel right now? Well, what I miss the most is, just hanging out, having a beer.
Having a cold one.
Watch from now on, whenever they talk about normal, beer going to be in there.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about a beer with their friends, going out to have a beer.
Come over, you want a beer?
Come over, you want a beer? Oh, man.
Right.
Look,
right.
Boy, beer is big.
Yeah.
It's our thing. We introduced that from the grain. Nobody told us that growing up.
No.
That we have letters to represent that word. So you can't say, well, no, they got it from. No, how is that in we original? Right. This language is the original language. So whatever is here was what was original. And everything flowed from that. Now we showed them heathens how to make that beer was over. Right. It was like, whoa! But they don't give us no credit. Wait, I'm gonna give you another one. Did you hear about Jack Daniels? I think
it's all out there now.
Tell Zion.
Yeah, Jack Daniels. It was there's a brother in all these pictures they found, and come to find out he was instrumental in making Jack Daniels the drink that everyone knows today. So now apparently they say when you do the tour, they have a section that highlights him. But it's one of us making this drink that we didn't think had nothing to do with us.
Jack Daniels was a brother?
Instrumental to that.
He had the recipe. He knew how to make it. And right now, his family is probably struggling right now. They probably can't even get a can. A bottle.
Right.
Because the heathen took it and gone with it. But then they did the research. They had to give a brother credit.
Yeah, they did.
But even when it comes to that,
right,
go back to us. Man, I could go on and on because ain't no telling where all these beer companies got their stuff from. Because we was working in all that.
Sure was.
Man, we was growing their tobacco.
Right.
So we all the tobacco companies was using us.
Right.
Man, I could go on and on.
Grown the grains.
We grow the grain, man. We grew the grapes.
Right.
It's in the Bible. We had the wine from Noah.
Right. Right.
Hebrews. So man, when we start talking about, man, this is family. All right, let's keep going. What else was made? Now this is what the heathens don't know. Keep going. Beer, what else? So made from grain.
Grain, bore as fat.
Mm-hmm.
Barn, grain storage.
Come on.
Pure as clean with soap.
That's what?
Clean with soap with an exchange for the P and the B.
So you mean to tell me that we came up with soap? You better hear me, you heathens and you Hamites. We started soap. Soap. That's your culture. Mm-hmm. The heathens was dying in Europe. Y'all do the research.
Right.
Somebody can pull it up while we're talking. One of the reasons that the heathens died of so many plagues in Europe,
uncleanliness,
was because they didn't have something as simple as soap. A lot of people were going to what they called the hospitals in those days. They didn't call them hospitals then, but for lack of better terms. And they would go to the hospital and die because the hospitals didn't understand sanitation. Mm. So the germs would it would be like an incubator.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
And what they didn't understand is how was we living, and they were dying, and they didn't know that we had soap.
Right.
Then we come over. Then they put us into captivity, bring us over here. Right. Got nerve to call us dirty.
Right.
And we are the ones with the soap.
Right.
We created the soap. Mm-hmm. We made the soap. We used the soap. Mm-hmm. Man, when the European came over to get, they said, "Whoa, he stank." Man, they kept trying to clean the European. He was like, "Man, what's the problem?" And the problem is you stink. And do you know it's a lot of Hamites to this day won't use soap? Mm-hmm. I said, that ain't my cousin.
Right.
But let me tell you something. Well, we don't deal with that stank. Hebrews?
No, we don't.
Man, you're going to be mad. I'm talking about when you're a little kid.
Right.
They'll be like, come here, boy, let me smell you. Whoa, you better get some smoke. Put some soap under your arms. That's our culture, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
We're the cleanest culture on the planet. I've been telling people that. One of our words is soap. Mm-hmm. Man, you ain't gonna find that them heathen. They got it from us.
Right.
Let me tell you something, man. During this lockdown, one of the things
we talked about.
One of the things we can't understand is why is these heathens? You go to a bathroom, it has to tell the employees
so gross
to wash their hands.
So gross.
And I went to this one restaurant, man. It says use soap.
Why you got to tell somebody that?
You got telling a restaurant to use soap. Somebody working at a restaurant. I'm like, because as I'm talking about Israelites. See, this is Hebrew we studying.
Yeah.
Are we this ain't Greek, right? Mm-mm. We're studying the words of our culture. Mm-hmm. So when they try to say you're dirty, you're stinky, no, you're the clean culture. Mm-hmm. See, we used grain for more things than just to feed, but we knew how to turn it also into soap. What? Soap was made from the, go ahead, number 2. Where's this soap?
You want me to start at the beginning part of that?
Go ahead, yeah.
So grains grown in fields were used for meal to make flour as well as feed for livestock.
Wait, make flour? Mm-hmm. Oh, so we made bread too, huh?
Yes, indeed. The stalks of the grains were burned to make potash for making soap. Mm-hmm. What is clean with soap becomes white or bright.
So then that's where you get the word being cleansed, and where we say, though your sins be as scarlet, I'll make them white as lamb's wool. Though they be as crimson, I'll make white as snow. So you see the idea is, the picture is cleaning something, and when something's clean, it becomes bright. Now, if it is a white garment and it's clean, it can become white, but the real word is bright.
Right.
Because this is a heathen writing. And you got to be careful sometimes, because the heathen will always try to put himself or his culture into our book. And that's not going to, a Mori not going to let that slide.
Right.
Unless the thing was originally white in the beginning.
Right.
But But like in the book of Song of Solomon, when it talks about white, that was the exact wrong word.
Right.
The word is glistening.
Right.
But the heathen put white. But they know the Hebrew. But see, you can't get away with that in Hebrew, because in Hebrew it don't say white. It's the word for shining or glistening. And it's just a picture of a brother out there working, and when he sweats, man, he looked like he glowing.
Right.
Man, I could pull up pictures like that right now online.
Yeah.
Come on, man, let's keep going. Now watch this next word right after soap. Watch this word. Come on.
What was that one? Where are you jumping? Okay.
Did we skip?
No, I just want to make sure we're staying.
Oh, yeah, yes.
All right. Staying with grain and field as a place for growing grain. Soap, made from the ashes of the grain stalks. 3, cleanliness from soap. Also pure as a moral cleanliness.
So then we understood what morality was. Because our word for morality or cleanliness was tied to the actual word for soap. So the idea, when we knew what that meant. When someone said you need to be clean on the inside,
right? We
knew what they were talking about. We knew it meant that we need to be lined up with the Torah, because that word cleanliness and the word soap, they go together as also pure as a normal cleanliness. All right, keep going. Here's the word: wheat, sun, about, clean, pure, choice, clear, purely, and then of course we see sun again. All right. Go down to B.
B. It has bet resh. Soap. The stalks of the grains were burned to make potash for making soap. Then it has underneath clean, the cleaning or polishing of something to make it bright or pure.
That's the word that I was telling you about when they used to use the word white in English. That's not the actual Hebrew word. It's the idea of bright or pure. Keep going.
And that's that word in Zephaniah 3:9. That word there for pure.
Oh, yeah. I will. That's beautiful.
For then I will turn to the people a pure language.
Hallelujah.
That they may call upon the name of Yah to serve him with one consent. That's everything we've been talking about tonight. We're trying to return that pure language. How is he doing it? Right now, we're seeing it. We're cleaning it up from all the dirt of English and Spanish and all these other European languages. We're getting back to what is pure and clean right here,
which is his word.
Yes, indeed.
And it is according to scripture. We are using the Hebrew word that's in our Bible that Yah preserved for us in the Holy Manuscript to get us back to what the truth of the word really is. Yes, and of course gets us back to the truth of who we are.
Yeah.
All right. Go down to go to E.
E has bet resh aleph. Fill or fat. Grain is fed to the livestock, making them fat or full. Fill, the fattening or filling up of something. The filling of the earth in Genesis 1 with sun, moon, plants, animals, etc. And the filling of man with life and the image of Elohim.
Now, did you hear that? I hope the whole world heard that. That when we talk about the word bara, it is the idea of being filled, right? Fattening. So when we look at the quote unquote Genesis story or Bereshit, it is the story of how Yah fills the earth. It's how he fills everything. It's how he fattened it up. All right. And in our culture, he saw it. We saw it like this, just like Jeff wrote this down. He did a good job right here with the sun, moon, plants, animals, etc. And the filling of man. Notice it says, and Yah breathed into man the breath of life. So here we know that he filled up man with life and the image of Yah.
Right.
And that's what I've been trying to tell y'all.
Yeah.
We are made in his image and likeness. So when you look at the black man, you're looking at the image of Yah. Now, whether you like it or not, that's up to you. I could care less where you, because he used the soil to represent his image.
Yes, you did.
And he mixed his breath, which then became blood inside a man. Remember, the blood, life is in the blood.
Yeah.
So then you see the blood system begin to work. Man becomes alive. He becomes Adam, which is our word for brown, because they use the word red in the Bible, and there ain't no color like this.
On the back. Yeah. Ain't this red.
Yeah, it ain't that kind of red. It's the red of soil. It's this kind of red.
Right.
It's your kind of red. We red. And everybody knows that. Now they know it. They didn't tell us that when we was kids.
No, they didn't.
They didn't tell us that in high school. And they sure didn't tell us in college.
No.
But the moray is going to let the world know. We know.
That's it.
But Jeff knows too.
He does.
My point. Because he knows that we are filled with the image of Yah, and he knows what the word Adam means. Doma. Adam. We got blood. We got red. We got earth. And we got man, all with the same root.
Yep.
And now we are seeing that we were fattened, or we were filled with the very ruach of Yah.
Most definitely.
All right. Go to H. I'm sorry. Yeah, go to H.
Bet resh hay. Eat. Meat. Covenant. The grain is used as food for man or livestock. Livestock fed grains become fat and are the choicest for slaughter.
Keep going.
Eat.
Drop down the covenant.
Okay, covenant. We're on page 74. Covenant is bet resh yod tav. A covenant is instituted through a sacrifice of a choice, fatted animal, which is cut into two, and the parties of the covenant pass through the pieces. If one party fails to meet the agreements of the covenant, then the other may do the same to them. See Genesis 15, verses 10 and 17, Jeremiah 34, 18 through 20.
So what we're going to do is, for tonight, we're going to stop right here. We got to pick this up. I got to spend some time here. We're going to talk about that Abrahamic covenant.
Right.
Because he split them animals.
Sure did.
Right? And we need to spend a little bit of time on that, because I want to talk to Israel. I'm going to talk to you all next week. We're going to pick it up right here, because we only got a couple more words, and we'll be in the Gimel. We'll be in the Gimel next week. But watch this. We need to spend time here, because I've been telling people we're in a blood covenant.
Right.
So we need to spend some time and go get that verse.
Right.
We need to look at what happened that night. We need to see what Yah told Abraham and the whole 9 yards, and what that represents to us today.
Right.
We need to see it, because people keep asking the same question. Why are we in the situation we are?
Right.
Why have we been treated the way? And they don't know, man. We went into our grandfather, went into covenant with Yah, which was a blood covenant. And it's blood in, blood out. That's the only way out. It's blood in, blood out. So we went into covenant with Yah based on scripture, not my words. And that covenant is still in effect with us.
It is.
The 12 tribes of Israel to this very day. And I got more to say on that, because believe it or not, we got some brothers and cousins, I should say, we got some cousins that are also a part of the Abrahamic covenant, even though they're not the children of Israel.
Right.
And they think that because they've rejected Abraham, y'all gonna let them off. But they're gonna have a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Because their grandfather put them in a covenant.
They locked in too.
And y'all should go back and read the story of Ishmael and the covenant part. I'll talk about it next week. But But just so y'all will see this part, I just want you to know, after Yah makes the covenant with Abraham, right? He makes Abraham circumcise Ishmael.
Yes, indeed. He's in it.
So which means Abraham and Ishmael also, that Abraham brought Ishmael into the covenant with Yah.
He did.
And that's deep, man.
It is.
Because he did get circumcised. Now, was he the promised seed? No, that's not the point. But was he part of the covenant? Yes, no doubt about that. He was circumcised. Yep. So we'll talk about that because it's blood.
Right.
And I think that'll be a good segue for me to get to my last couple of words anyway. Okay. So, Toda Rabbah, our time is up. Actually, we leave about 10, 15 minutes overtime. Thank you for being in the room, all of you Hebrews. I appreciate it. Indeed. Thank you, man, once again, Yaron, man, for being here and helping me help wake up Jacob to get this message out. Let's see, what do I want to go out with tonight? I want to preach. I pray that tonight something was said, some information went forward that help you see your culture is rich. Your language is beautiful, perfect, but also helps us to rediscover who we are and whose we are. Yeah. How we saw things, how we understood certain things. We know tonight that we didn't live in the woods, up in no trees. We live in houses. Right. We learned tonight that we not only went from tents, but we had brick houses. We understood what it meant to raise cattle, how to feed our animals. We knew what it meant to go into covenant. We learned tonight. How to clean? Yeah, we learned that we had soap way before the heathen. We knew that our cleanliness kept us alive. We learned how to be humane toward our animals. But we don't just put 15 spears in their back to a hollering crowd, a bloodthirsty mob. We don't do that. Our culture, man, was a humane culture. We learned that by our Hebrew words. And this is what we're going to keep doing, helping you see who you are and whose you are, and how we have been blessed by Abaya to have been given his language, and we have been blessed to recover it as we restore our identity. And I don't want to, man, you got anything you want to say before we exit tonight?
I think Drake also said, that old phrase, cleanliness is next to, he said godliness.
Right.
Yalliness. So we know that cleanliness, he's going to clean our lips, he's going to clean our minds, he's going to clean our hearts. And we're learning that with the words that are in our own Bibles that we just didn't know the full impact they have.
Yeah.
We knew in part, and we did the best we did with what we knew.
But now we see
now we're on a different level. We're maturing in Him.
Agreed.
We give Him all the praise, honor, and glory.
Yeah.
In His name.
We also know, we learned in our culture that the house is the center of our life. And we need to reconsider how we look at each of our homes. See how important it was to Yah and to our ancestors. And then we'll start putting more importance on our house. That's another thing. And then, of course, we also learned tonight that we ain't the same as no beast of the field. No, we have our own word, and it's separate from the beast of the field. So, Zion, I pray that this time together has been profitable. And we got to go. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Toda Rabbi Drika and Z for being in the room and doing the heavy lifting while Yaron and I was able to just easily teach through this lesson because y'all was working hard behind the scenes.
Oh, New Year is coming up, y'all. Passover is right behind it. So click on those links for the calendars. Get your information, get your houses in order, prepare your hearts and your homes.
Yes. And it ain't about just getting that leaven out of the crevices of your food pantry.
in the fridge.
Now, how about looking deep inside and getting all that sin out your life? And another thing, we're going to try to put out a message every day during Passover. We're going to do like we did last time. We're going to make our way through this thing. Got to finish. I ain't through talking about that old African Hananiah Pharaoh.
Guys.
No, I ain't through talking about that because we're going to have to defeat him once and for all. You know what I'm saying? Because all the Pharaohs ain't dead either.
So not.
But we about to come up out of Egypt. We got some stimulus checks coming. They trying to give Zion something. They like, well, wait, this is enough. Look, y'all, I got something to say about that.
This ain't enough.
Okay. But you know they keep talking about the blacks,
right.
the blacks. Why y'all so concerned about us? Now, give us our 120 trillion.
Right.
That's what we want.
Right.
Matter of fact, just give us the deed to the country. Just we built it. And it's ours anyway.
Who built the house?
That's our house. Hey, so yes, Zion. Just want you to know that we're gonna be dealing with that because you know our exodus is coming. Oh, it ain't gonna be long. Yeah. So, one love. We got to go. Hope y'all enjoyed it. We enjoyed being with you. And until next time, shalom. Jacob, Judah, Benjamin. I can't wait to get higher.